My name is Joseph Saldana, and I know what it takes to make it in real estate. I had 2 mortgage companies till the market crashed and I lost it all. But I didn't lay down and give up. I got back on my feet, got my real estate license, and built my business, Next Home, from the ground up. But I didn't do it alone, and now my daughter Gabby is working her way up the family business.
This is the Like Father, Like Daughter podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of the Like Father, Like Daughter podcast. Thank you for being here today. I have a very special guest. He is University of Alabama alumni, local bar owner, future sports broadcaster, Nick Calvacca. How are you, brother?
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
Thanks for being here.
What do you guys want to talk about today? I'm very excited to be here.
There's so much to talk about.
I know.
We go way back.
Yes.
We've been friends since you were like 5, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
You were the kid that was in a sports jersey every day, the class clown.
Gabby was always the pretty girl the elementary school kids wanted to talk to.
Yeah.
Troublemaker, a little bit. But we've come a long way.
Yes, absolutely.
You've done big things, especially in the past few years.
Yep.
So if you want to talk about, I know you had a crazy college life.
Yeah, I mean,
Place.
well, it started in high school. I didn't have a lot of options as far as school, grades weren't necessarily there.
You were a great athlete.
Yeah, I mean, sports were good, but to a point, you kind of go to college expecting to be the man, and it's not like high school,
Yeah.
There's a whole team full of you or better, So went to community college for a couple of years, bounced around, and ultimately ended up in Alabama at the University of Alabama. And I can't say a negative thing about it. It was the best experience I've ever done in my life.
Sure.
Yeah, that was the ultimate goal. Once I realized I wasn't going to be on the Yankees.
But now you want to do the other side of it. You want to do the broadcasting media side of sports. Right?
Yeah, so I live and breathe sports. it's all I talk about, it's all I watch, it's all I do. So I'm somewhat realistic. I mean, the ultimate goal is to be an announcer, calling the Knicks games or the Yankee games or whatever.
I see you doing that, definitely.
But, I'm realistic to a point. I will kind of see what happens as things come to me, and hopefully I'll get a job at least close to that at a sports desk somewhere or on a talk show or whatever the case may be.
Okay.
I think you will.
Yeah.
I mean, you somehow make it on the TV at every game.
Yeah, the cameras find me. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm obese, or maybe it's because I got, the face for it or whatever. I don't know. But
You have the positive energy.
the last few games I've been to, every time I get like 10 text messages, "You are on TV." I'm like, was I picking my nose? Was I picking my ass? I don't know. So,
Well, the one that saw you at the Ranger game.
yeah, the other night, that was
Lost.
that game was a classic. 3 overtimes.
Yeah.
They lost, but I'm not
They're
the
not
biggest.
out of it yet, right? They're still in it.
No, it was game 1. I'm
Yeah.
not the biggest hockey guy. I slept at night, but a couple of my friends didn't. So,
Yeah.
it was a good time.
I mean, listen, you went for the top school. You made a decision at one point, this is the life that I want to have, the college life, right?
Yeah.
And then you went for the top school. You didn't just settle for anything. So I think the same mentality goes for being an announcer. You got to go for the top. You got to go for it.
Yeah.
I think you can do it. I know you can do it. You have the personality for it. You have the knowledge of the sport. You've been on camera, not just, on these games, but, podcasts and stuff like that.
I got good experience when I was down there with the radio. I know I was on the radio a couple times a week down there talking sports, and
And that was the college station?
that was through the university, yeah, but
Okay.
it was FM radio.
Okay.
Anyone could tune in down in Tuscaloosa. And then I had my own podcast. As you know, I had the one by myself in my basement, which was a little whatever, it was a first time thing.
Start.
Yeah, and then I made the other one with my partner that I did the radio with, but that kind of ended after the summer that year because he's actually still at school. He's a little bit younger than me.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's kind of where we were with that.
I think all the pieces are in place for you to kind of get that motion, get that going,
Yeah.
that journey going towards that announcer's position.
Yeah, I'm interviewing with some companies right now and some different news stations. Even if I might not be able to start with sports, but we'll get there.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Sure.
How's the bar?
The bar's good. It's crazy, like since my dad passed in November, it's just like,
You kind of got thrown into it.
yeah, it's, one morning I was going to work at, I don't want to say the company, but a small little regular,
Yeah.
you're 9 to 5, you're kind of, BS job, you're making your paycheck, and, and then the next day, whole different life.
Yeah.
Whole different life. But one thing I know for sure, and I talked to my family about this, was like, my dad never wanted me in the bar business necessarily,
Okay.
so I didn't spend all the money at school and this and that to own the bar. I
Sure.
have the bar, I love the bar, and
Yeah.
I
grew up in the bar.
absolutely,
Bar.
and we're definitely, it's there to stay. It makes its money, whatever, but it's not going to be number one for me.
Yeah.
I'm still going to do what I want to do.
Good.
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
Yeah,
And again, your father passing away, we were there, with you during that whole time, and I think that was the last time I saw you.
yeah.
And again, our condolences, and we're
Of course,
really
yeah, thank
sorry, and obviously he did a great job with you,
Yeah.
because what you're saying now is that's what I would want my son to have, that same mindset. If you know that he didn't want you to make that priority, it's great that you want to keep it together, which you should. It's been there for so long.
Yeah.
But it's also just as important, if not more, to reach your ambition and and reach your goals, because that's gonna make him more happier than anything else.
100%. The easy thing to do right now would be to just
Exactly.
have the bar.
Run it.
That's it. Whatever.
Take
But
it to you.
that's not. That's not what I'm.
You have a lot more potential than that.
Yeah, I think if I did that, I think in 5 to 10 years I would kind of look back and be like,
Missed
Yeah.
opportunities.
yeah, and I'm watching these idiots on TV talk about sports,
Yeah.
yelling about stuff, and I'm gonna be like,
Yeah, it could have been you.
should have made
You
a
could
run
have
at
been that idiot,
exactly. I should have made a run at that. These guys are having a great time, so.
A lot of them are not that good either. They are pretty.
Yeah,
you're right.
you
They're not
get
that,
your,
they're not that good. So you can definitely do better than them. 100%.
Yeah, hopefully, we'll see what happens.
And it would be baseball. If you had to just pick one, if they came to you and say, hey, which sport, which team?
If I could pick a team,
Yeah.
I would love to announce the Knicks.
Okay.
Just because, they're my number one. I'd love to work for the Knicks or announce for the Knicks, whatever the opportunity that presented itself. But as far as a whole, football's my number one. It's just like a clear cut.
Yeah.
Any girlfriend I ever had in the past knows, don't even bother calling me on Sunday.
So, yeah.
You're wasting your time,
Yeah.
And especially down at Bama, Saturdays, the whole college football extravaganza, and
Yeah.
it's just football. I live and breathe it, but it's 2 days a week.
2 days a
you
week,
get your
yeah,
college
yeah.
and you get your pro, and that's it. So it's not a bad gig, but
Yeah.
it's
I'm sure there's a lot of work that goes into it besides those 2 days.
Oh, of
you can
course,
always do
yeah.
multi
course.
sports. There's a few guys that do multi sports, right?
yeah, it's definitely. It's more than 2 days, but
Yeah.
in the grand scheme of things, it's a shorter season.
Yeah.
There's not 80 games like in basketball, so.
So the Knicks, huh?
Yeah,
I
the
stopped
Knicks.
watching them in '94. I just couldn't anymore.
I'm getting ready to throw in the towel
they
soon.
kept breaking my heart. After '94, that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Oakley days, Patrick Ewing.
Yeah.
Might be a little bit. I don't know if you remember those days, but I mean,
Somewhat of a
they have
background with it.
They had the replays, but
Yeah.
it was brutal. It was brutal.
Yeah. Well, it's worse now. No.
yeah, because at least we were making it to the playoffs,
Yeah.
But we were just getting and then Jordan was out for those couple of years, and we thought, all right, we're gonna get our championships here, and then here
Yeah.
comes Houston and just kind
I
of
know.
just kills us. I remember like it was yesterday, but I haven't really followed basketball since then.
Yeah.
Since '94, but it is a sport that just kind of
Basketball is just better when New York's relevant.
Yeah.
It's just, it's a fact. When the Lakers and the Knicks are relevant, the LA and New York, it's just better.
Yeah.
It's better for the game.
So you're like you say, you eat, breathe, talk sports.
Yeah.
Like I know you're a San Francisco Giants fan.
Yes, that's
right?
the one team out of New York that I do root for.
Yeah. But it was because it's tell the story with that,
Yeah, I mean, it's they were the New York Giants back in the day.
Yeah.
And I know you don't care about this. They were the New York Giants back in the day, and my grandpa had rooted for them big time, and kind of trickled down to my dad. And even though they moved, it just trickled down to me, and we're Giants fans. So I've been out there a couple times. It's a good time. Yeah.
Oh, I could imagine that stadium and the weather.
Yeah.
And they're a good team. Like they're always been
relevant.
pretty consistent.
Yeah, they're always relevant.
So listen, I'm a Met fan. I mean, now it's a good time to be a Met fan.
Absolutely.
But there's been a lot of down years.
Yeah.
A lot of down years, and our ownership change has been tremendous.
Yeah.
You can see how much of a difference that makes when you have like a different owner coming in.
The whole vibe is just different.
Yeah.
Met fans are excited now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can even see it. You can even see it on, even Gabby wants to go see a game,
Just cute.
Yeah.
Game.
Yeah. Eat some hot dogs, drink some beer. Maybe she'll watch some of the game, perhaps.
Yeah.
But it's really good to see, and I think both New York teams are in first place, so they're pretty much right there.
Yeah.
Right?
They're top of the league right now.
And then you have your Giants, which is, that's I could have went that road as well. My father was, he was a big Met fan. We lived in the Bronx, actually.
Okay.
We lived in the Bronx, so you would think we'd be Yankee fans,
Yeah.
but we're Met fans.
Yeah, it's funny because everyone's always like, oh, why are you rooting for the Islanders when the Rangers are out? Why are you rooting for the Yankees and Mets? You're a front runner, you're this and that. Why are you rooting for the Jets and Giants? And I'm like, I own a sports bar.
Yeah.
I'm like, or before my dad passed, I'm like, you realize my dad owns a sports bar, right? When the teams are good, there's more money.
Yeah.
I'm not being a front runner.
Correct.
I could care less how many games the Jets win. It's putting food on the table. It's like, I don't know. People just, it's funny. I love all the New York sports for that reason.
You know what? I do too, and it was important for me because the Mets sucked a lot.
Yeah.
So to watch the Yankees in like '95, like when Jeter came up, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I was always a Met fan, but I root for the Yankees.
But you could respect that, you know? Yeah.
Just when they're not playing my Mets.
Exactly.
And vice versa. I'm a Jet fan, so the same thing with the Giants. I rooted for them when they went up against Patriots and Tom Brady, in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
I'd much rather them win than fucking Brady. But it was, you want to. If there's a team in New York that's in it, either baseball, football, hockey, it's great because
that's how
you stay
I
relevant.
feel. A lot of people, most people disagree with us, so but that's how I feel.
And you don't have to own a sports bar to have that same. But there are people that are like, whatever, I'm a Jet fan. Fuck the Giants. I'm a Met fan. I'm a Yankee fan. They hate the
Mets. Which is understandable too. That's understandable too.
But I enjoy when the New York teams are still in contention. It's something to watch. And now with gambling being legal in New York, everyone has the app. I even got the app, so I got the app, and I'm finding myself like playing around with it. It's fun. I mean, I'm not crazy with it.
It's just crazy because how many years ago it was looked down upon, in a crazy way. It was like, you can't gamble, you can't bet on sports, and now it's thrown in your face every second.
And everything.
Every commercial.
Yeah.
Sign up for Caesars, get $200. Sign up for FanDuel, $200. DraftKings. And it's just like, anything, any show you watch, this is presented by DraftKings, and it's just like.
Well, now they also have like the little icon too that stays in there, like almost like on the TV. That's on there.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, and you see now it's in the stadiums, the billboards throughout the, I don't know. It's just, it's crazy to think about because when we grew up, like, well, especially when you grew up, but even when we were in high school, it was like, you know, you got to keep everything quiet, and like, you know, it's just crazy. Now you could just be on your phone and go right into your.
Go to AC to.
Yeah, like, you know, or like it used to be. I remember even a few years ago, there'd be like a big game, and me and my friends would be like, "You want to drive to Jersey? You know, let's go. You want to put in something?" And now it's just like direct deposit into your bank account. It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy, you know.
Do you think that helps the sports industry? You know, as far as like, I mean, I gotta imagine now more people watching, they're more interested.
Yeah,
you know?
I think it does for sure. I think it helps, and I equate it. I mean, you guys might disagree, but I equate it to the whole marijuana discussion in a lot of ways, because it's like, you know, you don't want to legalize something, but everyone has their local pot dealer who smokes weed.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of gamblers, they all have their local bookies.
Yeah.
You know, on the street, and it's like, you're gonna get the action in one way or another. It's just it doesn't make a lot of sense to not make a couple bucks off of it if you're coming from a sports and a state standpoint. You know, you know, if you can make money off of anything, and it's gonna happen anyway, I think it's a good thing.
Oh, they're making a ton of money.
A ton of money.
They're making a lot of money.
Plus, people are more responsible, believe it or not, because, you know, you can't go into these crazy, you know, you hear stories about people like, you know, who are like compulsive and like they go into these crazy dets and owing money.
In your own account.
Yeah,
you're
when
like more controlled. Like people were using other people's. Like I don't know exactly how it works, but
you get the idea. You know, there's no like I need a week. Once you now if you're gonna do it, if you're gonna do it, the money's either there and it's in your account or it's not.
Or it's not.
And then when it's gone. There's no you know, there's no building up these crazy debts and these watching your back. You know, so I think it is a good thing in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I mean, for business, it's great, and I think that guy is still around too. He's still making business because it's all about the credit. You know, they have that credit with that person, that bookie. You know, the information also. You know, you have guys out there giving information, charging for information. You know, and it's it's something that, it's, you know, if you don't have it in your account, but it's at the same time to make it very easy. I've heard horror stories with younger kids, you know, and then they don't understand, like, you know, that $6,000 that you just like took from a credit card and you put in there, you're gonna have to pay that back. Yeah. You know, and then, you know, the parents, you know, this particular person, it was $6,000 when he saw it. He was like, holy shit, like, what are you doing? You know, teenage kid. So that part of it, and I'm sure though, you know, that's a parenting thing as well.
Of course.
That's also an app thing, but.
You know, every situation is different. We could all get ourselves in trouble doing anything. You know, it's just one of those things. You have to do it responsibly. Yeah. You know, or else it's dangerous. But
I kind of put a little bit of, you know, little 200 here, 300 there. You know, I make it, I put it back.
Yeah,
you know?
it's, you know.
And it's, again, it's always, listen, it's gambling and, you know, even like buying stocks and investing in a business, that's all a chance. That's all gambling, no matter
100%.
what. Like you have, like, you know, like you have the information, you make the best decision, but it has to be like more of a fun thing, more of like, and not like, oh, I need to be able to make this money back, because then that's when you just go into
you're
like,
done.
Then you're done. Yeah.
You know, even like, you know, myself, for example, I'm no pro, but I'd like to consider myself a little bit above average with it, and you still lose over the year. You know, it's like in football, I do well with it. I hang in. I'll be honest, I hang in. But the other months, I'll be honest, like basketball, baseball, hockey, college basketball, they're all killers. Yeah, they're all killers. And everyone has their different niche. Don't get me wrong, but mine is football, and still you hang in, but a bookie's never going to go out of business. No. You know, the only bookie or sports book, whatever you want to use, that goes out of business are the ones that gamble themselves. Yeah. So that should tell you everything you need to know.
Absolutely. No, 100%. And then what about this new football league that's coming on? How do you feel about that?
I haven't followed it too much, maybe just because there's not a New York team. I don't know.
Oh, there isn't? I didn't know that.
No, there's a New Jersey team. Okay. I'm pretty sure. I know there's an Alabama, there's like a Birmingham team.
Okay.
And some of my friends down there were like into it a little
Okay.
bit, just because there's no pro team in Alabama.
Yeah.
It's just a college.
That's right.
But I haven't followed it too much. It's just, it's hard for these leagues, you know?
I mean, we've seen a few leagues just
Yeah,
tank, you know.
to compete with the NFL is just, it's tough, you know? And then because you got these athletes, even from their point of view, they're putting their bodies and their brains really on the line, like in these games.
Sure.
And it's like, not for what necessarily, but
Yeah.
you know, it's a lot to do. If you see all these CTE and all these problems
Yeah.
people are having, and you're asking guys to play in like a minor league football now for not a lot of money and recognition, it's tough. It's tough to build.
Yeah, a lot of it is, you know, it's their opportunity to get into the NFL, because that's the goal. right?
Exactly.
It's almost like a minor league, which they don't have. They have college. They don't have that in between.
Yep.
You know, so really the NFL, if they were smart, they would have something like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Nick, thanks for coming by, brother. Appreciate
Absolutely.
it, man.
Sorry I couldn't talk more about, like, you know, real estate or something.
No,
but
I don't want you to talk about real estate. That's what we do.
Absolutely.
We want to
Yeah.
talk about, you know, about you and what you've been doing, and
Yeah.
you know, and just kind of we'll tie it all together.
Yeah.
You know, but it's just, you know, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while.
Absolutely.
You know, good luck with everything. I'm gonna wait to see you on TV.
Hopefully,
You know?
yeah.
Make sure you send those tickets wherever it is, so we
Yep.
can, you know, so we can go.
Will do. Will
Yeah.
do. Promise.
And listen, we're here for you for whatever you need. You know that.
Absolutely.
We're friends, we're family, and thanks for coming here
Yeah.
and you know, and dropping some knowledge on pretty much everything.
Definitely.
For sure.
Thanks
You
for
know.
having me. You guys have got social media now, Instagram. You got the whole
Yeah.
thing. So you guys
Yeah,
are doing
listen.
good.
Thank you.
We're moving the chains.
Yeah.
You know, we're building, and it's great to have people like you around us. You know.
Thank you. Thanks for
So
having me.
that's it for today, for this episode. Thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned for the next one.